It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speakers this morning, Odetta Fujimori, Laverne Moore, and Jean Dobashi. Odetta Fujimori served as HSTA's first president. She guided HSTA at the beginning and helped lay the foundation. Odetta is retired after a 29-year teaching career as an elementary and special education educator. Laverne Moore is a longtime HSTA leader with stints as Honolulu chapter president and teacher lobbyist. She retired last year after a 54-year, almost 55, teaching career as a special education educator. Jean Dobashi is serving in her 7th and final year as National Vice President of NEA Retired. She served HSTA in many leadership roles, including Kauai Chapter President and Chair of the Youth Human and Civil Rights Committee. She was an English teacher in Kauai and Oahu Public Schools for 34 years. I invite you to listen now as all three of them share their wisdom and experience with you all this morning.
My name is Odetta Fujimori, and guess what? I was the first president of the HSTA. So proud of that. Prior to becoming president of HSTA, I was a classroom teacher for 8 years. I taught 6th grade for an elementary school, and then I also taught special education for many years at Linikona School, which was a special school. And I loved it because it was a challenge to work with these young men and young women. Many of them were not really needed special ed, but they needed some guidance, and we were there to help them. Why did I choose to get HSTA started? You know, I grew up as a child of a union organizer, and my dad was with the ILWU, and he kind of encouraged me and said, you know, if you don't do it, there's nobody around to help the teachers. And so with that in mind, I decided to venture out and try to start something for the teachers. So we went to the legislature, and they agreed that we should have collective bargaining for public employees. Well, once upon a time, when we were trying to really organize ourselves, we were at a board meeting in Kaneohe, and the Board of Ed was just giving us a bad time. So I decided to pick up my marbles and leave. And so we got up and stood up, and the teachers all followed me, and we walked out of the building, and we walked and began to picket around the building. And that really got the Board of Ed to wake up and take a look at us and know that we really meant business about bargaining and sitting down and working out things for education. Basically, it was trying to allow us to bargain with them and to sit down and talk to them, and they weren't ready to, you know, talk to us or talk with us. So it was okay, if that's the way you want to play it, we're out of here. So we just picked up our things and walked out. It was a big deal for us to have a first protest, and you know, just picking up the signs and the power that we felt when we were walking around that building, and you know, the teachers can do it, we can do it. Just to watch it grow and to see HSTA take a political stand and legislative stand and very active in the community and in the state and nation. I mean, it makes me feel good. You get these warm fuzzies from seeing it going so far, and you know, you're able to hold your head up and say, aha, this is what we started and we're going to continue. And I hope that teachers today continue to do what is best for HSTA and for the teachers in the state of Hawaii.
Aloha, I'm Laverne Moore, and I have spent 50 plus years in the state of Hawaii being a special ed teacher. I have served the union as chapter president for Honolulu 3 times, and I served as a national lobbyist and your teacher lobbyist for 5 years. I served the department for 54 plus 8 months because I went on 2 strikes. Otherwise, it would be 55 years. I was a strong believer in union rights. I grew up in a political family, and I knew what political entities give the people in the state of Hawaii. We're very fortunate. We're working in a democratic state, and having the right to negotiate your salary and your working condition is excellent. And when the HSA asked for volunteers to show up at the legislature or to carry signs, I was there. If you don't know it, I'm an activist. I was an activist from childhood. Being raised Native Hawaiian, we were told that we weren't smart and we wouldn't amount to anything. Having a strong Native Hawaiian mother who told us that we always had to do the best we could and we always had to stand up for the rights of others. So knowing that I grew up fighting for those who needed a voice, this was my time to do it for my members. In our 1972 strike, I was asked to be a strike coordinator. You must realize no one in the state of Hawaii, not even nationally, believed that the teachers would go on strike. Would you believe we were the first public union that went on strike? We had the HGA, UPA, the nurses, and they all had the right to strike. It was the teachers who went on the first strike. Nobody expected that we had the guts to do it. I was so proud of my teachers that went against their culture and went out on those picket lines. I was in charge of 9 schools. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm there giving out the orders for the day. All of them were eager, nervous, but knew this was the thing we needed to do for our union. We needed to stand up for better working conditions and better salary. The result of that strike is we got better working conditions. Before that, teachers had to eat lunch with their students every day. We went out on yard duty every day. We had to clean our own classrooms every day. We went and eventually we got teacher prep time. And I want to let you know that the teachers who taught years before I did, when they were 3 months pregnant, they had to resign. They were the ones on the picket line for those of us who were new teachers. And when I was on the picket line, the old timers told me, Laverne, remember, I'm on this picket line for you. I am not going to get the benefits that you are getting.
Aloha. My name is Jean Dobashi, and I'm a retired public school teacher. My career started in Utah, Laie, Koloa, Kauai High School, for a total of 34 years, wonderful years. At Kauai Intermediate School, I had a mother who complained that I was picking on her son. And I said, no, your son swears. So I guess she went up to the administration. I got called in for a conference. I go prepared with my tablet, my grade book, everything is color-coded. And she said, yeah, I'm just getting sick and tired of signing your books, your weekly grade. And I said, oh, and you're telling me you signed it every week? She said, yes, I signed it every week. So I opened my grade book, showed her, yes, you'd signed 1 and 2. Oh, you missed number 3. Oh, what date was it? So I told her. She said, well, I was on Oahu. Then I said, you just lied to me. You told me you signed every single week and you didn't, but that's okay. We'll go on. So we went to the 4th, 5th, and she missed 2 consecutive weeks. Then I asked her what happened there. She said, what date was it? Told her. She said, oh, she had a business meeting on the mainland. You lied again. So, don't tell me you're sick and tired and you sign every single week. And besides, she said, my son is an altar boy. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what altar boys do, but your son swears. The attorney was there, called a recess, went outside. They went out. The vice principal spoke to me and said, Mrs. Dobashi, you got to get an attorney. I said, I don't have the money or the time to get an attorney. I'm right. She lied to me, and you saw what I just said. He said, well, you better talk to HSTA. I said, well, I don't know who HSTA is. He said, well, you better get some help. Then they came back in, and the attorney said, we're just going to leave it at that, and we'll just leave. So word got out that, Jean almost got sued and all this stuff. So HSTA found out called me or came to me and said, we're going to help you. So it was HSTA who came out and supported me. Not my teacher friends, not my department, not the school, but it was HSTA. For I'm eternally grateful. So after that, when I found out what HSTA was all about, I made a personal promise that I will always give back, help in whatever small way I can to thank HSTA. Because if any of you had a lawyer come straight on with you, it's nerve-wracking. I mean, it was very scary. And then shortly after that incident, I became state teacher of the year. So I said, how can 1 month I can almost get sued, and then shortly, maybe the next after month, I was state teacher of the year. And I was confused, totally confused. So then the people in the district office, when I passed them around or whatever, would say, Dobashi, you're getting active in the union. Don't do that. I said, why? It's for bad teachers. I said, what? I said, no, I will prove you wrong.
I remember being very pregnant and attending a board meeting. And after that, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to drive myself to the hospital. And what's going to be. But luckily, I was able to get home, and a couple of days later, gave birth to my daughter. And she's been born and raised in HSTA, baby, attended many of the conventions with me. But those are the kind of memories that, you bring back and you think, well, once upon a time I had a part in helping HSTA to go forward and be a strong teachers union. I think most of my activities were involved with the state legislature. And I mean, that's where our bread and butter came from. And we needed to get involved. And so I would really encourage teachers and my colleagues, and come on, let's go ahead and do this. Let's support certain legislators that were willing to support us and get out there and work for them. And so our political action got very strong. And with the help of the National Education Association, we were able to bring focus on the needs of the teachers in the classroom and how we could help them, not only in terms of the classroom itself, but professionally in terms of gaining credit and going forward in their own professional lives. Yeah.
If I was to pick the highlight of my 55 years with the Hawaii State Teachers Association, I will pick when Hawaii got Odetta Fujimori elected to the NEA Executive Committee. We had gone through a strike. We had gone through 2 rep elections. We were only a union that was like 8 years old. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the resources, but we knew we had a fantastic candidate like Odetta Fujimori. The importance of getting Odetta Fujimori elected to the NEA Executive Committee was to bring financial support to Hawaii, was to put Hawaii on the map. Back in 1970s, people on the mainland didn't realize we were a state. They believed that we lived in grass skirts and grass shacks. They did not realize that Asians were broken down by ethnic groups. We were the ones, Hawaii delegation, were the ones that educated the leaders at the national level and the congressional team. And at the same time, I wrote 2 resolutions and 2 new business items, Asian Pacific Islander education and multicultural education. Those resolutions and new business items passed at the National Dallas Convention. The importance is, for the first time, the NEA is putting funds towards Asian and Pacific Islander programs. And the first time, NEA is using a child's culture to educate them, multicultural education.
Another outstanding thing was my first RA in Minneapolis in '84. When you walk into the General Assembly room, you just get chills. It's just, huge. I think it was like 22,000. It's just awesome. So Justin Wong, my mentor, said, this is it. This is where the action is. And I've gone to every single one since 84 except for 2. What's exciting about NEA is, first of all, you got to be a member for your local, your state, and your national, belong to an affiliate. But when the kind of people you meet, there's awesome leaders, the the minorities getting together, it's awesome. I mean, they take care of you. And every day, every trip I go, I still have to pinch myself, like, am I really doing this? I'm from Kahuku, you know. It's unbelievable. So the challenges, the opportunities I've had to go from Okinawa to Germany and everything in between to do training, thinking that I would have been one of them and entering leadership level or group process skills. How do you make decisions? And here I was training other people across the nation how they could do what other people are doing. And NEA was very aware that our leaders do not have to be white and they do not have to be a male. So we can get women in different colors of skin, religion, and it's awesome. I encourage all of you to stay involved, get involved, move out of your comfort zone. Oh, but I can't do that. If I can do it, you can do it.
Why should you get involved with HSTA? Because that's your bread and butter. And then they take care of your professional needs and also your salary and your classification. I mean, you need to step forward and work with HSTA, and HSTA can work with you in helping you to be a better classroom teacher, to be a better person politically, and be able to help others and help the classroom and help the state to do a better job in working with young people. I like to encourage young teachers to just just try something, you know, just either get on a committee or just like get on a social committee or a planning committee. And when you get your foot in the door, then you realize that HSTA has a big picture. I mean, it's looking at all of the teachers throughout the state. We try to get the teachers to see those kind of similarities as they work within their classroom and then outside of their classroom to the bigger world, you might say.
You all need to get involved now. You've been sitting on the morals of those who came before you. It is your time to get involved. It is my warning to you that you have to get involved, and it's the political process. And if you do not want to be someone as an activist like me, you can write letters to the legislators. You can support your chapter by doing little things. I promise you, you must get involved or you're going to lose all the rights that those who came before you fought so hard for.
You know, if you're shy, you're quiet, you don't think you got it, just step out of your comfort zone. I mean, I'm from Kahuku. I'm a country girl. I'm a plantation girl. If I can, you can. Believe me. Anything in this world is possible. I've got a lot of scars on my back, but you get thick skin. You look them in the eye, you tell them what you feel, and they can feel it because it's from your heart. And as I walk around in the community, parents make me cry at Walmart, students stop me in Costco. You have the greatest responsibility to teach, but you need the HSTA to be there with you.